Hello, everyone, and welcome again. So now I can say that this is a video that I'm a little bit more comfortable and it's more enjoyable to talk about. So in this video, it continues my little series on the culprits to our happiness. And so far, I've talked about stress and trauma and abuse, and these were outside influences that were kind of like making us uncomfortable, let's just say inside, or feeling being overwhelmed. So now I'm going to switch it over and I'm going to talk about the third factor that I find is more interesting and more along the stuff that I want to continue talking about. And that is the third culprit is ourselves. So I know before I continue this, I know that sometimes we do get overwhelmed and it does make it very difficult for us to be able to cope with situations. But there's other times where we make matters worse by seeing the way that we see. So that has to do with how we perceive things. Now, as far as outside situations, we also see these things as an event that happens to us. But we often forget that without us, there would not have been any event. Or if it would have been somebody else, the event might have been totally different for that person. So we have to keep that in mind. So what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at here is that we are the ones that often label something as good or bad. Not saying all the time, but and that continues on for something that desirable, undesirable, wanted, unwanted, uh, pleasurable, painful, and all sorts of different things like that. So depending on who experienced a certain situation or an event, it will be perceived differently depending on who it happens to. That's something that we all can agree on. So we determine on in what way we're going to see things, so how we will experience it, how we will define it. And that's what it means at the end that we create our own reality. We do. Each and every one of us creates their own individual reality. It's all unique to us. So now if we would ask ourselves, why do we see things in the way we do? And one that would explore that would come to some uh, pretty interesting and relevant information would come out. It would be fun to find out why we're seeing things, wouldn't it? So now there's another question that arises for me is that would there be a way that you could see things that would enable you to be happy, live a fulfilling life, to be confident in yourself, to be at peace? Wouldn't that be something worthwhile to maybe decide to go in that direction? At the end, I don't know many people that don't want to be happy, but if you do want to be happy, you have to find out why you're first unhappy right now. So if we're not happy, why are we unhappy? And I know that most of the time there's a big reason for that, and it's basically that we do not let go of past events. We would rather relive and basically almost torture ourselves and re-experience a trauma, the event that we deem as very unpleasant. We would rather relive that than try to learn from it, grow, incorporate it into yourself, and be able to move on. But instead, it's like we're almost self-poisoning ourselves with these constant looping, revolving thoughts that have to do with something that happened in the past. So at the end, it's a form of self-sabotage, and we keep on traumatizing ourselves over an event that happened in the past. So what I'm trying to explain here is that we there's an initial event that happens, okay, and let's just say that we can justify by saying this is like bad for now, even though I would not agree with that. But let's say it happened and it was a bad event. Because we keep on experiencing over and over again, that becomes the problem. The initial event is not necessarily the problem. The problem is we keep on perpetuating it, reliving it, not trying to learn from it, grow, incorporate it into your being. What I'm trying to say is that we become anxious because we were anxious in the past. We are angry because we were angry. We're sad because we were sad. These are all past tense. They're supposed to be in the past. Why do you keep on digging up this stuff? At the end, all these emotions, love, hate, respect, appreciation, peace, they all exist because of us. Now, obviously, there's a wide range of emotions that you can feel and that you can experience. So at the end is, the real question is, what are you creating?